Hey guys, it's me coming on tonight. My name's Ashley. I'm a channeler. I channel higher selves. I channel avatars. I channel anyone of the highest intent. So sometimes that's Mother, Father, God. For those of you that don't know me, that's what I'm up to. Usually I do an energy read, but the channelings I got in the last days were from Mother God and Father God, two separate occurrences. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. Basically, I would do the cards, but because of how profound the message was, I'm not going to cloud it with any of the cards tonight. So I might do that tomorrow with some other sentiments or some jewels of wisdom. But I want to say thank you to everyone who does subscribe. I may be one of the slowest moving channels out there, but I still come on to share my word, and not my word, but the words that I am told to share amongst you all, which I am so privileged to do and be doing. So without further ado, I did get a message from Mother God today. I'm going to start off with that. And then I also got one from Father God. So for those of you that may have never watched me before, I am of the school of thought that God is both feminine and masculine, Mother and Father God, yin and yang, but not in that sense to the fullest extent. It is the I am that I am, essence of source. Source is all. And in that all is the dual. However, it isn't dual as it is one, but both flow into each other so beautifully and lovely. So if you're not of that thinking, maybe you don't want to watch me, but if you do want to learn about that thinking, please hear me out. So this message I got today was one that started off with Mother God, and her titling was Faith and Love. That was the title of the story. But she did start with a song from Madonna. Now, I don't usually sing, but I have to impart this because this is what came across to me. So it's that song called Frozen. So it's that one that's like, if I could melt your heart. That one. So that was, she pointed out some lines to me, and it was primarily this: if I could melt your heart, you only see what your eyes want to see. How can it be what you want it to be? You're frozen when your heart's not open. So, like, if you guys know, I scribe. So she had me highlight that heart's not open. Okay. Many of you have yet to open your hearts to me, the mother, the nurturer of all, the source of all life and death, the primordial mother, taking haven in her bosom as I bathe you in my glory. Once amongst you and forever still, you all play in my garden, in my grove, in my fortresses. There is no place that I am not found. To have grace and humility is to know thine heart. I come forth today with a message. Do not forget the mother, as she will need you in these times. The temperament of the all changes as the heart grows dim. If there was ever a time to live freely and without shame, it is now. My heart and love beckons out, and if you're tuned for this emotional vibratory resonance, you will notice the seismic activity is affected. Okay, so that's really powerful. That's not the end, but I will touch upon that later. My shift is already an occurrence. The volcanoes, tsunamis, fires, earthquakes, and floods are all a part of the unfolding of this time. All will be made anew. Much will be seen and underway. Mountains will begin to reveal many wonders that have not been seen for more than a millennia. So I got some visions. So for those of you that don't know, I get some visions as I'm getting this channeling, and anyways, I was getting Costa Rica, and then I was getting something that was written out as golden waves, and I was seeing waves crashing on the shore in glimmering gold. So I don't know if that's actually gold or if it was just some illumination in the ocean that was crashing that way. I also saw Nepal I saw ice caps either like falling or breaking. Trinidad, I saw earth cracks, not earthquakes, earth cracks. Mount Fuji, I saw rumblings, and then I saw like boulders coming down mounts and like crushing homes at the bases of the mounts. I saw Monaco, France, or the region of it, with significant drought. And I do want to say that it was sunny at the time that I was being shown, so I would imagine that's spring or summer. Okay? Now, back to what Father God had told me in the last readings, if you want to see with Sandalphon. There was that talk about Chile, Colombia, and Uruguay. Okay? Now, as you may or may not know, Chile got hit with a fire, which may or may not have been started by certain situations, maybe, you know, beams. Anyways, long story short, what I got about that, because I said I was always going to like talk about this, but I think what's going on is that those two other places are also, they tend to all be smart. Let's just say that. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. Can you imagine, and I'm going on with the story here. Can you imagine a world where all of this is possible? Now imagine a world where it is not. Whatever way gets you to this conclusion, feel free to exercise this at this time. It cannot change the outcome, but it will change what and how the effects shape the world. Healing is what is needed in an already sick world. The possibilities of success are there. Headspace is not needed, just heart. Okay? That was the next expression. Now, this was titled Offerings of Good Tidings. Okay, Mother God was imparting this to me. Offerings of Good Tidings. Now, that was an interesting word because when I channeled Father God yesterday, that word came up as well. So she was expressing to me that there's going to be discoveries that are going to take place, particularly with medicine. It will improve tremendously in the next years. Many will be using alternative energy medicine to heal and shape the industry. For the most part of life, our mother shelters us, feeds us, and nurtures us. Our well-being nurtures our well-being. Do not confuse the three items as those ways that did not match the vibration of my well-being. Like I said it over and over. It's over. And she had me highlight, it's over. The time for worry, pain, and suffering is coming to a close. The shift began, and as turnover, the miraculous, now remember this word, miraculous sight will come for not to be taken lightly, but also as an opportunity not to be missed. Seize it or let it slip away. Now, that statement about the miraculous sight will come for not to be taken lightly. Please keep that in mind, okay? As I move on to Father God's message that I got yesterday night, this is equally as interesting, and I'm going to show you the parallels because I found it fascinating. And then there's a last point of this that like really blew my mind, and I'm going to share that with you at the end. So this started off with this statement, okay? The persecution of the Latter-day Saints, okay? So that was kind of shocking to me because the only time I had heard about the Latter-day Saints was like some old commercial when I was a kid. And then aside from that, I never heard of them again. But anyways, that's part of the message at the end. So he goes on to say, henceforth, we are introducing a new element into reality, unfelt as of yet. It is one that most all already, it is the element, it is one that most already feel. It's the element of surprise. This shock will be one necessary and illuminary to the masses. I am in everything you breathe. As I describe, I mean me, but also the lords of legions overseeing you at this time. To imagine the entire world aflame without the water to quench it. Such things are necessary, as there is no end to those that do not sleep. Sleep is the key element when understanding who are those that do not sleep. Their relentless attempts only to work forever at a goal unattainable. To anyone such as those, now and forevermore, will this reign true. It is not for the sleepless to dream or share in good tidings. Remember what Mom said? Tidings, okay? That was the parallel. It was interesting. Sorry. It is only for toil. Toiling is a force against my will, the will that will not be filled. As so is my truth. To know me is to know the flow of my measuring rod, to decide what is best. Who else will be there to decide? Should I not deliver you first? He posed that as a question or as a pose. Unfortunately, humans seem to need to be pushed to limits before they will adjust. We share in your pains at this time. Please know that everyone has a significant role to play in this caption of existence. If you could think of yourselves as a choir, if all people start to live in peace, love, and prosperity in the chiming, it will rise and you will start to see the fabric alter. There needs to be a larger ratio of even 51% of persons vibing higher that can assist and aid at this time. If there is anything I can impart, do everything in your power to share and show love. Make that your mission. We are accelerating at an exponential rate. So use these energies to catapult you further. Okay? The next part of this, Dad was basically, Father God was expressing, feel into the emotions you want to feel. Okay? I know these are going to be a little interesting. He was saying that, like, if you want to see joy, be the joy. If you want to feel wanted, want and show others care. Peaceful, if you want to see peace. Create peace in your everyday life, especially where it's hard. To feel desired. Desire to know others. Reciprocity. Return favors for no reason. Acknowledgement from another soul. Show that people are acknowledged. I know they seem very, succinct and very basic, but some of these elements are very hard to describe. So I think Dad did a beautiful execution of that. But I did want to say what I found very interesting with these two messages was that they had interesting parallels. And mainly the first one had to do with love. It was like basically, again, that expanding of the heart space that doesn't seem to go away. It seems like that's the primordial message, that even our love, if we just vibe higher, Mother God was saying, like, we can have effect on the cataclysmic nature that's been going on around the world. So it's to show and impart on us that we could actually do something. For all of us out there that feel like we're helpless and there's nothing we can do, like, that's a very beautiful message, because that means that we can actually take the power within ourselves to just emanate love, and that vibratory resonance will have an effect on the cataclysms. To say that that is a truth is like an amazing jewel to manifest with. So I just want to say that was very beautiful. Now, when Mother God was saying offerings of good tidings, like Father God's message was said that those that do not sleep do not impart with good tidings. I thought that was very interesting. The sleepless, we have to locate who the sleepless are in order to stop their toiling. That was pretty much the message there. Oh, there was one other thing I did want to say. Dad did give me some names. Father God did give me some names. There was this expression to me that there would be like 6 degrees of separation between somebody who's watched this message and the people I'm messaging. So if you do resonate with the name that I'm saying right now, please put it in the comments. I was getting the names Janina Simpleton, Jason LeDuc, Max Lieberwitz, Sarah Carruthers, Jerome Biggins. Now, I've never gotten names before, so this is the first time, but I don't doubt what I get, so I just put it out there, okay? But I do want to say that this is very much in alignment with everything that I feel true to my heart. There was one other thing I did want to share, because you know how I was talking about that Latter-day Saints thing? Okay, if you just give me a second. Whoops. Okay, there we go. When I looked up Latter-day Saints, like after when I was starting to put this together, I was like, you know what? I should look up what that meaning means, right? It actually refers to a doctrine that are living, like this doctrine expresses for those that are living in the latter days before the second coming of Christ. So I was just kind of blown away there, because when Dad said it was like the age of the persecution of those of the Latter-day Saints, I was like, okay, so that means that if the persecution is taking place and it's in the latter days of the saints, then I was like, oh, this doctrine refers to the second coming of Christ. So I thought that was like so epically, like it just like thrilled me when I read that. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, wow, like if this is the time, like this is the time. And I know that these messages may seem, interesting or not interesting. It just depends on who's seeing me. But I think it's hella interesting that we may be seeing the second coming sooner than later. Whatever that may be. You know what I mean? I've expressed in my past videos that we don't know if it's going to be a man or a woman, an avatar of some sort, or if it's going to be the consciousness just rising through all of us light bearers, star seeds, 144 chosens out here, empaths, whatever the case may be. But I did want to say that this whole idea of love and how we can emanate love, like both Mother and Father God were saying that this is the main focus at this time. Like it was more like, this is what you can do, so do it if you can do it. And I mean, it might be funny, but it's so hard to love. I mean, it's so hard to unify. It's so hard to unite sometimes. It's like most of the times I'm here and I'm just that person in a basement cracking jokes, trying to do my best to make things light of things all the time, because it's like, yes, this world is changing and seems chaotic, but it seems like this is what we can do. Like, it's like if you think of the worst case scenario that you could possibly come up with, right? It's like, I always think about like the Titanic, right? I'm not saying that that's what's happening, but hear me out. You know those guys that are playing the violins like right to the end and the cello and all that? I think that's who I would be. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bring on that good music, that good something, like right into the end, because you know what the inevitability is going to be, but you might as well make the light of it and the best of it and show as much love and care and compassion as you possibly can as the ship's going down. But I'm not saying that we're on a sinking ship, because what I see in all of these messages is that there's a transformation. And oh my gosh, that whole illumination thing. They both were talking about illumination, light and light. So Dad was talking about how there's going to be this like, what was it? Shocking. Let me see. Sorry, guys. I got to go back into that for a second. I just got a lot of sheets. But yeah, it was something to do with like, oh yeah, the element of surprise. And it was going to be illuminating. And then Mother God was saying that it's going to be miraculous and not to be taken lightly. So I was like, those two were being highlighted to me. And I thought that was really explosive. But, uniting and love and light, they're such, it seems simplistic. But at the same time, we still find that it eludes us. It eludes us at our best, okay? So even when Dad was saying like we should just do it even if it is hard, that's maybe all we can afford right now at this time to do out of our hearts. And we need to expand those hearts. And I mean, sorry, I just needed some chapstick. But I was just like blown away by this message. So I hope if you do like what I'm saying, please like, please share, please subscribe. just, share the love. It's an easy way to, a free exchange of love between my subscribers and or anyone else who catches this, because this message is very powerful. And I do want to say that I do have a lovely team, a support team, and so do you. We all have our teams of angels and guides, etc. And I mean, for me, I find that as I connect with all the different persons and entities of the highest intent, I do find that it is a funny existence to be in, because sometimes we can think we understand the idea of unity, but then we get this running joke that keeps happening where we're like, you know who you are if you know who you are. But the running joke seems to be like, well, if he can't say hi to her, then maybe he should reconsider the name of his organization. That's basically what I was getting as a joke. I couldn't stop laughing. I hope you laughed too. But I had to express this because I was like, yeah, unification and unity can elude everyone. Love can elude everyone. Just saying hello can elude everyone. I mean, as someone, I'm totally receptive. I mean, I've taken my steps towards love and light and unity and all that. So I guess reciprocity is, what was it that he said? What was it that Dad said about reciprocity? Do things for the sake of doing things without wanting anything in return, I think it was. But yeah, I just wanted to say that I love you guys, and I hope you are blessed and not stressed. See you next time.